I'm in the kitchen again today. Been a while since I've done anything in the kitchen. I've had a mess of things I had to clean out my cabinets with all of the canned goods. I threw away a lot of canned goods. They were expired. And my spices, I divided them up, saw which ones were too old. Some of them I had 3 different jars of the same thing. Didn't need all that, so got rid of a few of those. So little by little, I'm gonna try to straighten up my kitchen. Uh, I've still got that dream of the nice big kitchen with an island where, oh my gosh, one of my favorite cooking shows is it's called Acres Homestead. And that young lady, she's professional. There's no question about it. But she got everything you could want for cooking in the kitchen. And of course, you can see she uses lots of large kettles and bowls and things in her work. I don't have those large kettles and bowls. I've just got that one red ironstone pot, and I've got my slow cooker. So what I had done, I came in because I was hungry and couldn't think of anything to eat. And I looked and I saw a big head of cauliflower in my fridge. Now I'm bad for leaving things in the fridge too long, and by the time I get around to using them, it's too late. Well, I took it out. It was looking good, nice big head, and I thought I've got to do something with this. The only thing I ever use cauliflower for is salads, and I put cauliflower in my roasted vegetables. They work great in the roasted vegetables. So I thought, well, I'll just take a shortcut. I have some carrots I needed to use, and I need to take up about 2/3 of that head of cauliflower. I thought, well, I'll try something. So what I did, I sliced my cauliflower. I'm going to show you. I sliced it in pieces like this. That's it. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay, you see it's in slices like this. Nice thick slices. And I spread them out in my Pyrex dish. Well, so I peeled my carrots, cut them up in just bite size, and I said, okay, I'll do the carrots and cauliflower both. So I sprinkled a little olive oil in the bottom of my dish, and before adding the carrots to the cauliflower, I put them in a small pan and I let them boil about 5 minutes. Now the reason for that is carrots don't cook as fast as other vegetables do, and I wanted them to come out even. So I let them cook a little first, and I add sugar. A little, just enough to get the sweet taste. And when that's finished, I drain the water off. Now, I could have put butter on them, but there was no reason to because it's going to drain it off anyway. And I added it to my dish. Now, here's what I've got. There's my cauliflower and my carrots. Now, I'm going to add little spices. Now, this little jar right here, it says multi. That's just exactly what it is. It's got about 5 or 6 different spices in there. Makes it much easier than opening up 5 or 6 jars like this. So I just use this, and I'm going to put it in my hand because it doesn't have a little sprinkler. And I'm just going to sprinkle it over my cauliflower and carrots. Get enough on them to give them a little flavor. You can see what I'm doing. They're going to be nice and spicy. That ought to just about do it. And I'm going to add a little salt. Salt hasn't been coming out of the shakers very good lately because of the moisture in the air, and I have trouble getting things salty enough. So a little bit more. I'm one of these has to have a little more of this and a little more of that. So I'll add a little more black pepper. Not much. Doesn't need a lot. Now, next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of olive oil over the top. Run that up and down through there so that that's going to take care of, yeah, that's going to do it. I've got the oven on about 425. Going to take, let's see, I've got to find my pot holder. I've got something in there I need to take out. This is my little tray I use for toasting things. So now I'm going to, got another pan in here too. I do things in strange ways. Let's see if this is going to work. In goes my cauliflower and my carrots. But this will take about 20 to 30 minutes. And then I'll take them out and I'm going to prepare a Caesar salad to go with it. That's going to take care of that. Now while we're waiting for that to cook, I'm going to show you something. You're probably familiar with this already. How many of you still have your old Revereware pots and pans? Well, if you're as old as I am, you've had them for 50 or 60 years. That's exactly how long I've had mine. I got a couple of, 2 or 3 Revereware pans for wedding gift. I didn't know anything about Revereware back then. That's 60 years ago. And I've added 2 or 3 pieces to it since. I've even thrown away 2 or 3 pieces because I burn them so bad. I said better to go buy a new one than this, try cleaned up. So what I'm going to show you is this. You know they have the copper bottom. Take a good look. 50, 60 years, not bad, is it? Looks pretty good, wouldn't you say? Well, I think it looks good because I burned a lot of vegetables in these pots and pans, and they've taken the wear. So what you see here is one that I've cleaned. Take a good look at it. It's been cleaned. Okay. Take a look at this one. It has not been cleaned, so I don't know how long I've gone since I cleaned it. I don't clean them very often because I don't use them that much anyway. I use the same little pot and pan for everything that I can. So I pulled this one out. I said, well, this looks like a good one to work with. Now, take a look. Tomato ketchup. That's what you got here. Oh, everybody has tomato ketchup in their refrigerator. Now I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that tomato ketchup. You just watch me. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm putting tomato ketchup on top of my pan. Well, it's not on top. Actually, it's on the bottom. There's the tomato ketchup. Now I think I will add a little salt. I don't know if it's supposed to be added or not, but I'm going to add it anyway. It won't hurt it. Now you watch. You watch what I'm doing. Taking bare hand. And I'm cleaning it. I hope I'm cleaning it. The other one worked. Let's hope this one does too. So I just rub and rub and rub. You're going to see it. I may have put too much ketchup. So we'll see. Get some of it off my hand. Okay, I'm going all the way around, covering it good. Now you watch what I'm doing. Can you see what's happening? Now we may not do a real good job of this, so we save a little time here. But you'll get the idea. Now this one I've surely burnt something in it because you see all these black spots. We're not taking off the black spot now, but we probably could. But I'm just getting around the edges, and I'm going round and round. Now it'll take a few minutes. If you want a good job, you got to really work at it. See, I've got to get this side too. Get some of that off. Keep rubbing, keep rubbing. Not hurting my hand a bit. In fact, maybe it'll do something for my hand. Are you seeing what's happening? I'm not going to go the whole process because the spots on here that'll be hard to get off. That's because I'm not careful with my pot and pans. I'm going around the edge where it has the line. Get close to that edge and that stainless steel, and you'll be able to see. Watch what I'm doing. A lot of you probably have the pot hangers up over your stove or over your cabinet. I love them, just dearly love them, but I've never had a place to hang one. But this is the kind of thing you want to hang on your pot hanger because it's kind of classy, you know. You see it in the the videos of the famous cooks. They've got all those copper pots and pans hanging down that they use when they're doing their shows. Now, I'm not going to do any more than this, but even the black spots don't bother me. They've been there a long time. That's just telling you that she used that pan a lot. And I did. Because in 50 to 60 years, you know, there's a period of time that these are your main cooking utensils. I didn't have anything any better than this. This was it. And I also had an electric frying pan. Didn't use it much because didn't like using it. Now I'm rinsing this off now. You can't see what I'm doing, but I'm just rinsing it off with water, just plain water. Now, get myself a couple of paper towels over here. Well, one will do. And I'm going to wipe it off. You're going to watch me wipe it off. I'm going around. Wipe it out on the inside too. Now, take a look. See what I've got? See how easy that was? Didn't leave any stain, didn't leave any ketchup under my fingernails. And my Revereware pans look pretty good. Now you may have some nice copper pieces that you hang on the wall. You might try this same method with them sometime. So this is Revereware clean with tomato ketchup. So I'm going to set this over on the stove out of the way. I wanted to show you that, and I figured some of you would already be familiar with it. But the first time I tried it, I was absolutely fascinated with my finished product. Now let's see, what was I going to talk about next? Okay, get my paper towel here. Going to get my little cookbook out. Y'all can, I've got a clip here so I can mark the page I want. Some of you are not familiar with my cookbook, so here it is again. You can order it on Amazon. And I've done very well, I think, you know, as far as I'm not a big time author. So I think I've done well with the ones I've sold. And I wasn't trying to compete with big time authors either. I just wanted a cookbook that had the recipes that I use the most, recipes that are old ones in the family, and those that I like. Well, I wasn't sure what about this one, so I marked my page. This is a cute little story. It's the story I want to tell you, rather than just the recipe. But it's a recipe that when Christmas comes and you start making your peanut butter rolls and your peanut brittle and different chocolate candies, you're going to want this recipe too. If for no other reason than the story I'm going to tell you. Of course, this book is called Make Mine the Blue Plate Special, and inside the cover you can read about why I named it that. This story is about Emma's peanut brittle. Now, first of all, who's Emma? Well, every Thanksgiving, the family would go to my niece's house in Williamsburg for Thanksgiving. She had the most room, and she could take care of the crowd. So, her husband's name is Donnie, and he would invite his mother and dad in to join our family too. They were always the what you might call the outlaws, got invited to the family dinners. So this is the story. I'm going to just read it to you. It's easier than me trying to tell it and mess it up. Okay. She was one of the sweetest ladies you would ever want to meet. She couldn't greet anyone without a big hug and kiss for them. This lady was a very devout Christian, attended her small country church regularly, and there wasn't a revival ever held that she didn't attend. Okay. Emma was known by everyone in the small community for a special reason. She was known as the peanut brittle lady. Now, my glasses aren't helping me any today, so I'm having a little trouble reading. Okay. She was known as the Peanut Brittle Lady. In the years following retirement and the passing of her husband, she devoted her spare time to making the candy peanut treat with other church ladies that became a favorite to all. They got together, and all of the ladies in their own homes made peanut brittle. It didn't matter if it was someone's home, an attorney's office, or even the superintendent's office at the high school, who just happened to be her son, Donnie. She was there making her sales. Her son had told her time and time again not to interrupt him at the school. That wasn't the place to be selling her homemade candy. On a regular basis, she came to her son's office to get his help in figuring out her checkbook for banking. You know how it is when you get older. You can't remember what that check was for, and you start adding and subtracting your balance, and it doesn't come out right. So she was there getting her son to help her with the checkbook. Gotta balance the checkbook. He would go through the checkbook page by page and straighten out her math for her. No matter how many times she was told not to interrupt him at school, when he had meetings scheduled especially, the phone call from the front office would come to him while he was in a conference with the school staff. "Your mother is here to see you." Oh, goodness gracious. She just doesn't listen, does she? "Tell her I'm in a meeting and to wait outside." And he would look up, and there she stood. She would have a basket filled with her small brown bags of peanut brittle. Now, the staff members knew his mother, and they were always glad to see her. Everyone in the meeting bought the candy, and everyone got a hug. Now, Sweet Emma was a widow and a lady of modest means, but when she died, she had kept a record of her sales through the years, her sales for peanut brittle. She had given $3,000 from the sale of her peanut brittle to her small church. $3,000 she had received. A lady with a loving and generous heart. Now you think about that, this little lady knocking on doors. She wasn't bashful when it come to approaching people. Didn't matter how important you were, didn't matter how small you were. She was there and you got a hug, and she sold you a bag of peanut brittle. Her recipes in my cookbook make mine the Blue Plate Special. And I hope that if you don't have my book, you'll go to Amazon, order it, and when Christmas comes, why not make a few batches of peanut brittle and give them to your friends and what have you. So, that little story's over. It didn't take as long as I thought it would, because I wanted to be able to get my cauliflower and my carrots done. So I'm not going to get that done, but I'm going to do this while we're just waiting. I'm going to see if I can find I had some, I can't tell where I put things in the refrigerator, and my stand's in the way. I'm going to have to move my stand over a little bit so I can get in the fridge. Now, where's my... I'm still hitting the top of my head with the refrigerator door, and one of these days I'm going to hit it too hard and I'm going to be in trouble. You know what that means. You know all about my hard head. This looks like a bowl just about the right size for my salad. I can go ahead and make that. It's not going to be hard to do because this time I bought, let's see, what did I buy this time? Chopped Caesar salad kit. Okay. And I like the way they chop this up. Turns out really good. Reach in there and get a few pieces. Oh yeah. That's going to work out pretty good. That'll make me a nice salad. Now, when I get ready, I'll add a little bit of shredded carrot. I'll add green pepper and a little red onion. Now, this time I won't be adding red onion because when Jan and Charlie and I went out to the big farm and bought our corn, I'll tell you about that too. We bought a few other vegetables. Oh, she got a great big cantaloupe. It was delicious. And I said I wanted some sweet onions. I said I have not found what I call sweet onions anywhere in years. And the young girl who's part of the family that owns the farm, she showed me the sweet onions. I said, are they really sweet? She said, yes, they are. So I bought 5 or 6 of them and brought them home. I don't know what I did with them. Let's see, I think I've got them back here. So I'm going to, let's take this off and see if, yeah, here we go. Got it hanging loose so air gets to them. See, I put them in one of these little bags. That way they get the air and they don't rot on you. So I'm going to use one of these onions. I'll cut it up in a little bit. I'm not going to do it right now, but you can see what they look like. I bought the small ones. I didn't want the great big one because I never make enough of anything to use a huge onion, and I don't like having to refrigerate them all the time. So I'm going to have that out and get my green pepper. I'll get this back over here somewhere. Set it down. Let me get my green pepper out so you'll see what I put in my salads. I've got a big old cucumber here. Now I cut up a green pepper and put it in ice cube trays and added water because I throw an awful lot of green pepper in the garbage because you can't use it fast enough. Now this is pretty good sized green pepper, and I'm going to wash it off here. Yeah, get me another paper towel here. Yeah, get that wiped off a little bit. Water off of it. Set this back in the corner here. Find me a knife. I like this little knife right here. It works pretty good when I'm not using a great big knife. Now, you're going to wonder, what in the world has she got in that French's onion container? Well, it's not French's onion. Most likely any container like this you see in my refrigerator will have something other than what it says on the outside. You can count on that. I've got a lot of sour cream containers in the fridge, and when I want sour cream, it's not there. It's got something else in the container. Okay, guess what's in this? This got my carrots in it. Can you see my carrots? These are those little carrots you buy in the big packages. And I'm going to, let's see if I can find my little, I keep losing things, and I don't know why, because if it's not in this drawer, I don't have it. So what I do, I got my little cutter here. My neighbor gave me this. And I just take my carrots. Now, first I need to tell you why the carrots are in this container. You know how your carrots get hairy and how they get wrinkly and you have to throw them away because you kept them too long? Well, I buy these small carrots because I don't have to cut and peel them first. They're all ready. And what I do is, let's use this little bowl right here. I'm just going to cut off my carrots like this. This little thing comes in handy. Now I'm just going to do one. You'll get the idea. Because I'm pretty clumsy. Okay. Now for what I would put in my salad, I would cut about 3 of these. See, this is one little bitty carrot. Little pieces like this. They're just right. So this goes in my salad right here. I'll do another one later. And let's see what else. Let's cut the bottom off of this here. Nice, pretty piece of green pepper. This is about the only thing I use green pepper for on my salads. I'm just going to cut these off. Now this is enough for one salad. Plenty of green pepper there. See that? Now I'm going to show you something I do. When I talk about your green pepper going bad on you too soon, I'm going to show you something. You'll recognize these. These are those little cups that they use at Kentucky Fried Chicken, and they have coleslaw in them. I save these. Now this one may be a little too large, but most of the time not. There you go. Look there. See how I set that right down in that cup, and it suctions. It suctions to that little plastic bowl. I don't have to put it in a bag. I don't have to wrap it in anything. I leave it just like that, and I stick it in the refrigerator, and it will stay fresh longer than if you leave it, say, in a plastic bag. Try it. It may not last as long as you want it to, but it's going to last longer than it regularly does in just a Jiffy bag. So I'm going to put this back in the refrigerator somewhere. If I can find room. There's a little space for it. Now I wanted to show you that because it's just a little household hint that Irma Bombeck would have told you. Yeah, Miss Irma Bombeck. I used to love to listen to her and read her stories. I've got a couple of her books. And you know, my publisher, I call him my publisher, he's the young man that I went to help me get my book published. He called me once, and see, I thought, oh, I can't write. Goodness, no way can I write. And I was almost embarrassed to ask him to help me because he's on the New York Times bestseller list. Goodness gracious, can't do any better than that. Me trying to be an author. He sent me a message and said, there's an Irma Bombeck writing contest every other year. I think you ought to submit a story. I thought, I don't believe this. He can't be recommending me to tell a story to a national contest like that. But he was. But the contest, you could only have 500 words. No more than 500 words. Well, goodness gracious. I can't tell a story in 500 words. I can't hardly give you the directions how to get downtown in 500 words. But I did write the story. And to tell you the truth, I don't even remember now what that story was. But I saw when the contest ended. And the winner must have been a 3-time college professor, because it was so high class in his writing. Well, he had 500 words. But I thought, well, I can never compete with people like this. My story was funny. It was meant to be funny. Irma Bombeck was funny. That was the whole idea. So I was a little bit embarrassed about the story I sent, but there was no reason to be. Nobody else knew except me. But the whole point is, this young man, so well educated, such a good author. I think he's got over a dozen books now on the bestseller list. He said that once you get your first book on a bestseller list, everything you write after that goes on the bestseller list. Well, goodness, that doesn't seem quite fair, but that's the way they want it. So I thought you'd enjoy that little story because, you know, I try awful hard to give you good stories. I want them to be interesting. I want them to be funny. If they're sad, I want them to be sad. I want you to like them. And I don't want to fancy up my story to where you don't understand what I'm saying. I am one of those people, I don't have that kind of vocabulary that you have to go to the dictionary and find out what the words mean before you can understand what they said. I'm that kind of person. But so far, I have been so lucky. And some people come up to me and they say, how many subscribers do you have now? And they are shocked when I tell them I'm moving on up to 37,000. But somehow or other, those numbers are not increasing on my studio site. I don't know why, what's happening. And another thing, the readers, or you're not readers, you're watching me, viewers, they've slowed down. Jan says it's because July and August are vacation months. People are going to Florida and they're going to visit Grandma. And they're taking their summer vacations down. They are not focusing on YouTube. But I count on you. I really do. I count on you to being there. And what I want to ask you to do is, you've got friends who might enjoy my YouTube channel. if you do, you know who would enjoy them. I want you to ask your friend to subscribe to my channel. I don't want the numbers to drop because it would be discouraging for me, and I need to be encouraged. Oh yeah, I'm one of those people you gotta push that button a little bit to encourage me and tell me that I can do it. So, tell your friend, tell your family, and you're going to think I'm crazy. Somebody will ask me a question. They've gone back and they've looked at an older video, and they ask me a question. I think, what's she talking about? I don't know. I don't remember anything like that. So I have to go back and find that story. I have to watch it myself before I know what they're talking about. In other words, if I can't remember what I wrote, you won't remember that you've already read it. So, you want some catching up time, go back, find some of my early stories, and read them again. And I think you'll be like me. You'll say, I don't remember reading this one. That's what happened to me. And every now and then I read one and I think, gee, that was a good story. Because I'm seeing it as just another person reading that story. I'm not seeing it as something I've written. And it's a good feeling. You always make me feel good. And I want to make you feel good. And one of my viewers is coming to visit me soon. I'm looking forward to that. So we're hoping everything goes okay and the weather stays good and it cools off a little bit. That's gonna matter too. So I'll get a chance to show her around town, show her our bluegrass horses, our beautiful thoroughbred horses in the farm. If you've never been to Lexington in the spring and summer, you need to at least once, because those farms are just beautiful. Almost makes me jealous that I don't get to live on one of them, but I'm not a horse person anyway. So anyway, so much for my YouTube channel, and I've been finding some new YouTube channels that are delightful. I'm really getting interested in what other people do. And that's what I want you to do. You can do the same thing I'm doing. Or at least you can read and watch my stories. Now I'm going to take a look in the oven and see if I've left them in too long or not long enough. I'm real good at leaving things in too long. So let's see what happened. I need 2 pot holders here. Where are you? That's awful when I can't find my pot holders. Well, I'll just fold up this towel and it'll work. Woo! Now, they don't look pretty, but that's not what matters. And I'm going to take a fork . I'm going to take a fork and stir them around a little bit. Got that nice olive oil on them. And I can just put these in a dish. And when I get my salad made, I've got a little piece of homemade bread. I bought that at the farmer's market too. They had all kinds of breads. I tell you, I wanted everything was off. I'm going to take this out, push that back, and I'm going to wait for it to cool. Gonna take a minute or two. Jen's getting ready to go South Carolina again. Charlie's gonna go alligator hunting. Can you imagine that? I can't imagine her being married to a man that goes alligator hunting. But he's been doing these things for years, and he's just about got her in the mood to learn how to do that kind of stuff. I'm not in the mood to do that kind of stuff. I told her to stay in the boat. It's good. You know you'll like it. Yeah, nice bite of carrot. It's got a little sweetness to it. In fact, I'm going to add a little bit more salt. I'm one of those that, if it calls for salt, I add extra. If it calls for sugar, I add extra. And I love cooked carrot. That just makes a good side dish. Give it a try. Gets a little bit brown on the edges. But it makes a pretty dish. So, trying to think of anything else I want you to know. It's been gloomy today. Isn't it amazing what the weather condition can do to your moods? I can do most anything when the sun's shining. When it gets dark and gloomy, I'm not good for anything. I take my naps. I'm not watching TV nowadays. I don't want my TV on. And I'm not going to tell you why. You already know. So, see all my green stuff in the back there? Got 2 more little jars. Where did I put those? I'll show them to you. You might can help me. Jan gave me these. Somebody got them from somebody. I don't know what. But this, if you look real close, you can see. Well, you can see the name that was. This was pepper. This was a pepper container. But I don't have lids for it. Keep your eyes open. Now these lids are bigger than the ones I've got back here. I'll show you. See? These are both pepper containers. And if you'll notice, this one got stuff in it. I've been trying to get it out. I'm going to get it cleaned up out one of these days. So, but you see, this opening is larger than this one. So these lids don't fit. If you just happen to run across some lids that fit the square salt and pepper container, I need two. Wouldn't take anything for my jadeite. I don't use it much. Now these, you see me using these all the time. The reason I use these all the time is because they're not from the old jadeite. These are from when they started reproducing the jadeite, and these don't glow in the dark. You can, nearly everything I have glows in the dark, except my pie plate and these little bowls that I use to make my salads in every day. So you can tell that if you're looking at them. You'll know. You get the black light. Somebody will have a black light that you can use when you're in the antique shop, and you can tell whether or not it's the old jadeite or the new jadeite. And of course, the old jadeite is much more valuable than the new. So that's just a little hint in case you decide you want to collect jadeite. And if you can inherit it, that's a whole lot better. I'm going to let you go. Keep me in mind. And let me hear from you often. Go back and read some of my stories. Read the old ones. Read the comments. And you know what? This is the 320th video. Aren't you proud of me? Got to get that brain to working, the mind to rolling, and the memory coming back. And I'll stay with you as long as I've got something I can tell you. Be good today. And bear with what you have to watch on TV. Just take a deep breath and sit down and take a nap and forget what's on TV. That's all I can tell you, because we're in for, I don't know what you want to call it. I think that we're going to be wading in deep waters in the next few weeks. That's all I can say. Thank you for watching me. I really appreciate all of you. Thank you very much.